I thought all the
Oh,
Mercury retrograde BS is like done. I'm like, all of this technology, I swear to God, I'm about to throw something.
Yeah.
Carrie, hi,
the
Pamela.
host has joined, and I'm like, la la la. And then it was
Because
like,
I was
it's
on five
ended. And I'm
minutes
like,
before.
great, it's ended. Okay, now what? And I was just
I'm
gonna
so sorry,
respond,
you guys.
and
I
then it came back.
I literally was on 5 minutes before the call starts because I get busy doing something and then I look up and I'm
Mhm.
like, oh my God, it's past the time, right? So I always minimize it and it pops up and says when people are there, but there was no participants. You guys were there, but you weren't. Hey, Lachelle.
That's weird.
Well, we are all here now.
I know I'm so excited. I'm waiting for Kathy to join via
Is
audio.
she coming?
Yeah, she's on, but it just says is connecting to audio. So we'll see. And
Oh,
I'm
I
you
don't see
might
her.
have it where you can't see non-video participants. That's what happens to me because of the Fathom thing.
Yep, that's what happened. But I could see the Fathom thing, but I couldn't see Kathy. Now I see Kathy and can't see Fathom, so I don't know.
I deleted the Fathom. Hi,
Oh,
everybody.
okay.
Hey, Kathy. Yay.
Hey.
How's everybody doing today?
Good.
Okay, well, I'm going to deviate. And I feel like we need to start out with a card today. So these are animal cards. So I'm going to hold them up and you get to point to me which card kind of color wise that you want.
I'll take the green leafy one.
This one in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay. That's Pam. Lachelle, you're next on my screen.
The like purplish one. I don't know. Yeah, sure. Yep. Yep, right there.
Doesn't matter. Okay. Uh-oh, they're all sliding. Okay. Carrie?
I want the purple one you pointed to first. It's next to the blue one. It's right. It's right, like one over from that blue one.
Right here?
One, go the other way. Oop, in the middle. And it's like, just, okay, on to the blue one. How's the blue one? There you go. Yep,
And just to the left of that one?
to the right of it. I think you covered it up when you did it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right here.
Yes, that one.
Kathy.
Maybe I'll take the upside down one.
This one right here. Okay.
Not the one with the text showing.
Okay, so Kathy, you are the black bear, guardian, gentle and wise protector. Give me your confidence and power. Help me protect the ones I love. Awaken my intuition and guide me.
All right.
Okay, Miss Carrie. You are the swan, Grace. You who glides across the water of my soul, bring me your wisdom and light. Help me transform into elegance and grace. Inspire me with dignity and the spirit of beauty. Ooh. And Lachelle, you are the butterfly, rebirth. You can reinvent yourself, open to the rewards of change. You have brilliance to share with the world. Love every part of your journey.
That's pretty.
Then Pam, you are the deer, love. Be gentle with yourself. You heal with the power of love. See the light in all things. Acknowledge your self-worth and grace.
Aww.
Yeah. Thank you for humoring me. Okay, I want to hear some wins because I've been seeing some out there.
I think I know what I'm gonna write my book about, so that's my win.
Ooh, that's huge.
Yep. I was just
share.
I think I think I'm gonna write it like my idea is act 2. Like we go through all these seasons of life, and in the last 10 years, like what have I done a good job of? It's been continuing to transform and go from like I was stay-at-home mom with 4 little kids, and now I'm like entrepreneur or business owner. And honestly, like I'm getting ready to start act 3, right? So as my kids leave the house and I go into what's next business wise. So it's just talking about moving from act 1 to act 2.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I might I might throw out there that you're moving into Act 3 personally too,
Yep.
because it's different when you don't have all your kids around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Pass it on to one of your friends.
Let's go to Pam.
Okay, wins. We've signed a couple of new clients, and we've got several in the pipeline, so that's very exciting.
Yay.
And they're clients that align with exactly what we're looking for, and so that's really cool. And then I have a really exciting opportunity that I've talked to now Carrie and Michelle about with a guy that I've been working with for about a year and a half. He wants to go all in on like mergers and acquisitions, and he wants me to join him in some form. And so I'm trying to figure out what that looks like. And yeah, so that's a really huge opportunity for me to really leapfrog my business through that.
Pamela, that's cool. That's like, so I'm reading this book called The $1 Million Coach, and he's talking about this collaboration marketing, right? Like, and collaborating with other partners that have a list that's not necessarily people in your own audience. And so that's what that sounds like for you. That's fantastic. Way to
Yeah.
go.
Thank you.
And all these contracts, you've like been talking to them about how they're going to get to a certain point and the investment price is going to change, right?
Yes.
Are you humoring me, or are you
No,
really
no, for
Okay, good.
sure. That is definitely part of the conversation.
Okay, good. Because that was a goal that you had. So I think that's a big
Right.
one too, right? Because you were
Yeah.
looking about doing that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're moving forward with, we're switching engagement softwares from Ignition to Anchor. And so that's one of our Q4 rocks, is to have everybody re-signed on the new system. So it's like, hey guys, we're switching the billing system. Oh yeah, and by the way, we have a new engagement for you. So we engaged an attorney to review our engagement letter to make sure all our terms and conditions were protecting us and making sure all that was good, because we had just kind of winged it before.
Yeah.
So just putting all those pieces in place to, really launch that.
Lots of good stuff. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Pass
Kathy?
it on. Yeah.
I guess my win is more that I haven't thought about the book. I've been helping family. My sister is very concerned about her breast cancer coming back, and so I was able to go spend the weekend with her and you know, be there for her. And then my daughter found a place to rent, and her dad did the usual stuff of this kind of stuff he does. He offered to pay the full year rent all at once. And then without telling her, now he's saying, well, I'm going to charge you interest. So I'm able to help her navigate that. And I'm just grateful that I had the free time right now to be able to do those two things this week.
That's awesome.
So,
And Kathy,
yeah.
I was thinking about you while I was showering today, and I know that sounds really weird, but that's like my think and prayer time. Like I shower every day.
There's something cleansing for
Right?
me. Okay.
Well, and I don't wash my hair every day, but like shower for me is like my cup of coffee, right? It's my time. And I was thinking about you, and I have a question for you, and I want you to ruminate on it, and then we can talk about it later. But I've been really thinking about you, and like as you tap into the collective, what do you do to protect your own energy? And what I mean by that is,
I do a lot.
what I'm learning is that when we take on other people's energy and we take on their pain or their suffering, we don't allow them to heal because it seeps back to them, right? Like, and they have to have that back in order to do that. So
yeah, I do a lot. That's a lot of what Julie's training included that. The coach I'm working with now included that. Yeah, I do a lot. But keep in mind that I resonate with the collective. So when I start a new collective, I clear out anything that I've empathized with, so it's a little bumpy at first anyway.
Yeah. I just asked because I got a hit, and I was feeling like maybe some of those things were like staying attached to you, right?
Yeah, no,
like this is so disgusting, but I don't know why the word leech came into my, like leeches, you know what I'm talking about, that you get in the rivers and stuff. And it was like, get those suckers off of you, right? And because it's not of service to the people that you're with, either in the collective that you're serving. So
yeah, they need to face their full journey. I can't carry it for them. Like,
okay,
yeah.
Now I want to have a full discussion about energy leeches, and one of my children is one. Oh, she killed me this morning.
that happens. Okay, hold that thought, and we'll talk about that, because Lachelle, you're up. Or did we didn't do you, right?
No.
Nope, not yet. Nope. I'm gonna say my win is that I was able to be really present with my family in South Carolina, even though I have a big masterclass scheduled for tomorrow. So it was pretty cool to watch all of the systems and automations kind of play out in the background. Like I was at this rental beach house, and I was watching Jamie, my assistant, literally inviting people in my inbox and then answering them and having conversations. She helped people book appointments with me. And I was just like, all of these cool things automation wise were happening in the background. I'm like, this is working. So that was fun.
It's green, isn't it?
Yeah, it was awesome. So
yeah. And you had a client I saw posted that is like,
yeah. So yesterday was our last day at the Mayo Clinic, and last week I had a client whose last day was at work as well. So 2 weeks in a row with people that have worked with me less than 3 months. So that was pretty awesome that I got to celebrate that with them. So yeah. And then Debbie, is it okay if I just invite these gals to tomorrow, just in case y'all want any help with time management? I'm doing a workshop. It's a Maximize Your Time masterclass. It's really going to be geared towards learning how to get organized, how to automate, how to delegate, just systems wise, just really like gearing up for the end of the year time management stuff. But what I'm really excited about, and I want to make sure you guys knew about this, is that I have a VIP option that gives you access to a training that I'm doing with somebody that is going to teach you how to use ChatGPT. Do you guys use that at all?
Mm-hmm.
It's so freaking amazing for writing. Like, she's got really great insight on prompts and how to prompt it so that it can write your emails, it can write your social media copy, it can write anything basically. So anyway, just wanted to make sure that I mentioned that. You guys are more than welcome to join me on any of that stuff. So
thank you, Lachelle. Can you send me the link, and would you be okay if Meredith went to the one on Friday?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay. Because all things that way, I'm just like, no, not my human design. I need somebody else to build the prompts, not my thing. That's what makes me want to drink.
Absolutely. Awesome. Yeah. I'll put it in the chat.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Lachelle. I appreciate that. Yeah. And, like anytime any of us are doing anything like that, let's share with each other, because I think the more and more resources we have, the better off we are. And with that, I did want to ask a question before we get into the energy conversation. And that is, I've got some guest speakers kind of lined up, but I want to know from you all, what are some topics? And I didn't watch the one with Meredith yet, but I'm assuming you guys got a lot of value out of the branding and marketing conversation with her. But what are some topics that you would like some more information on? Like, I'm in conversation right now. I have something set up with someone about maximizing cash flow that I'm hoping that I can get to come talk. But like, what are some things that you all want? Because I'm making a list, but I'm like, that's my list, not your all's.
I know maximizing cash flow doesn't really get me excited, because I do that all the time.
Have you teach us?
Ooh, investment hacks though. I saw somebody talking about how to pay off your mortgage by getting a HELOC and then making that your first. And I was like, that's interesting. Anyways, that's another thing that I need to go look at. But one thing that just popped in my mind is that we are women of a certain age and our bodies change. And if there's somebody who could talk maybe like physically about our bodies as we age and that kind of thing, that's a little bit on my mind. I'm following the people on TikTok. We're talking about the perimenopausal time of life, and feels like that just has been swept under the rug. Now we're finally talking about it. So Or it's just now I'm the target audience. I don't know.
Well, it's probably a little of both. And
And
part
no, I
it's
think each generation, like every time I reach a milestone, my previous generation never talked about it. So I think every time this generation reaches something, we talk about it.
yep. Yep.
Well,
have
and I
some-
think that related to that is like how is it changing your brain chemistry, right? Like how is it changing the way that you're thinking, the way that you're responding to the world, the way that, you know, because your hormones are all wonky, and how does it make you feel that you don't even realize that's the root cause of why you're feeling that way?
Yep. I actually have a couple of people, but I might move them up. One of them is, her name is Leka, and she is my age. She inspires me. I don't want to go this hardcore, but she has won either the last 3 or 4 years the oh, what is that new thing that everybody's been going to the last few years in the gym, and you like compete with people all over the place?
CrossFit.
CrossFit.
CrossFit. She has been, you know, like she travels and does like, and has won her age group the last 4 years, 3 or 4 years of the CrossFit competition. And I'm like, okay, if somebody in their 50s can do that, then I can surely do something to like tone my body, right? Like I'm not stuck here. And then my good friend Joni Francisco, who I know Lachelle is doing something in your group too. She is an amazing just wealth of knowledge. And I have to say, I was very affirmed too. I always felt this way with her, but I was very much affirmed. I attended a DNA conference Saturday, which I'll unpack some of that and share some with you all. It's big, where I took a test with a company that ethically destroys your DNA. So there won't be any more little Debbies running around. But ultimately, it looks at your DNA and your makeup of your DNA and gives you ideas of things that you are either a little bit more susceptible to, or that you have that you're optimized in. It was very fascinating. And talking about brain chemistry, also talking about epigenetics, right? Which is the expression that you can actually change of your genetic makeup. And so it was really interesting. And certain things like, now I don't know about headphones like what you're wearing, Kathy, but like Peter Crone doesn't get too like raw about things very often, but he's like, you need to take off those earbuds, because every time you have earbuds in, it is a constant EMF drip into your head. And I was like, oh, that's like brilliant. I didn't even
What's
think
EMF?
electric magnetic fields. And so like any Wi-Fi or anything, like it's all these like things, and it messes with your hormones. He also talked about like as women, we put over 250 some odd chemicals on our body every day, you know, and that's lotion, cosmetics, mascara, hair products, all of these different things, and how there is a correlation between infertility and some of that because it's messing with people's hormones. I mean, it's fascinating stuff. So I'll share more of that, but I want to bring Joni in because she's well versed in some of that, because what affirmed me is some of the things that I was suboptimal on. Like I didn't have any red, thank goodness, but I tend to hang on to cellulite. You know, and there were certain things that as we looked at it and my sleep patterns, that she had already prescribed like a supplement that was listed as things to help aid that. Right. So, and so anyway, I'm going to bring her on too from a health perspective. So thank you. Anything else? I have somebody coming, I think in February, about systems. Okay. If you think of any or have a topic that you're like, hey, I'd like to talk a little bit more about this, let me know. And I'll reach out to
I know we have the Vivid Vision thing that we have going on.
Mhm.
I've never done like an actual like vision board.
Oh, cool. Pamela, I'm so glad you said that, because I was just this morning, I was looking at my vision board right there on my wall.
Oh.
And I was thinking, you know, it's been a while since I've done an online vision board night. And so like where you gather your own stuff, because it's good for you personally. It's a vision board is okay from a business perspective if you're the only one. But if you have a team, you know, you got to kind of put a business plan together a little bit more specific. But if you're interested, I would be happy to do that. And what I'll do is put it out there for like a $25 charge or something, and then just give you guys a code.
Yeah, I would love to do that, because in the past, I've kind of poo-pooed it as like, I don't need to do that. I'm fine.
Growth, growth,
But
growth.
like growth, exactly. And I'm like, you know what? Like it would be so there's literally nothing on the wall in front of me above my computer. Like, how cool would it be for me to just like be able to stare at the things that I really want in life and really have that visual of the vision.
Okay.
Like
That's
not
awesome.
not the vision of my company, but the vision of my life.
Yeah. Yeah. And I usually start out with a meditation about your emerging future. So we'll do that. Awesome. Thank you. You just affirmed that for me. Okay.
Sorry if you guys have all done like 100 vision boards and you're like, oh my God, please don't.
Nope. And it's good to revisit them. It's fun when I talk to people and they're like, I put these things on there and like all of them happened. And sometimes it's not. Have you ever seen the movie Under the Tuscan Sun? I know I'm all about Italy right now, but I love that movie. You should watch it, Pamela. It's so good. It's a little bit
It's one of
older.
those that like I keep meaning to watch it, but just never actually have.
Yeah, it's so good. She gets divorced, right? And she goes and lives in these like really sad apartments, and her friends that are gay give her a trip because one of them ends up pregnant and said, it's a gay trip, so you don't have to worry about, any relationship crap or whatever. And so anyway,
Gay in a way.
yeah, that's right. That's what it's called. And so anyway, she has this vision for how her life goes. And sometimes it happens, but it's a little bit different than what we expect. Right. And so that's what that one's all about. Okay. Tell me more, Carrie, about what you want to talk about with energy. And then also everybody else, what can I help you with today?
Oh, well, when you said the word leech, I just thought back again to this morning where I've been fighting with my daughter for 10 years to go to school. And like, it's more than that, right? Probably maybe since second grade, right? She's in 12th now. And she's sick. Well, we went to the doctor last week and she has a sore throat. She's got the cold that's been going on, but it's like every morning we're arguing about going to school or not. And it's just like, and in general, she's kind of an energy vampire. And so it's like, she's my child and I love her, right? But how do you like deal with this little one that you love? Because if she was an adult, if she was one of your friends, she would not be your friend anymore because you're like, I can't handle your energy anymore. But now she's my child. And so you're trying to like train this child up to have positive energy, to think positive. But man, she can just change the atmosphere of the whole house when she shows up. So anywho, you said leech on the energy, and I just unfortunately thought of my own youngest child. So there's that.
That one's not an easy one, but let me ask, what doesn't she like about going to school?
Oh, well, today she's sick and she has a sore throat, but we don't like, there's a little bit of I know you may not feel perfect today, but sometimes we just have to get up and go to school. And she went to the doctor last week. She doesn't have strep throat. She just has the cold that we've all had that's going around. And it didn't help that the nurse practitioner looked in her throat and said, well, your tonsils don't look swollen. And I said, well, she doesn't have tonsils. So
Hard for them to be swollen.
And I was like, and she said, oh, okay. Also, you can't be that sick if you're out having dinner with your friends at 8 p.m. last night either. So, and previously she does struggle with anxiety, which we do keep under control, I think, with some supplements, and she's doing okay on that right now. I just saved y'all from a bark. I just want to say that. I saw it coming. I grabbed the clicker and I muted. Got it. That was so good. Yeah, so that's just been our struggle with her, and her energy just from the moment she was born has just been different than my other children, like the happy baby versus the serious baby.
Yeah. And part of why I asked that, Carrie, is that when I lived in the Midwest, there weren't a lot of alternatives, meaning like you went to school, you did the whole K through 12 thing, there weren't alternatives. And the only reason I asked that is when I moved here, like I was helping with the youth and I'm always like, oh, do you go to Sandpoint High School? Nope, I do high school at home. Oh, I do this, I go there, like there's all these other options. And I was coaching a gal actually that had moved from a Waldorf school and was really struggling in high school. And she ended up doing like online school as a sophomore and then taking her GED and graduating. And now she's like I don't know how this is happening. And now traveling to like India, it's starting to get annoying. Traveling to like India and got certified in yoga and is now starting her own business. Like she's a completely different person. So I only asked that, meaning that, you know, is there a deeper thing about school, and maybe there's an alternative that she can do to get the rest of her education.
Yeah, we've got one semester left, and look, we're finally doing really good in school. Whereas, like coming into the semester, we had a 1.5 GPA. School's been hard for her. She had a facial deformity. Like I think we need to go to like an energy healer, honestly. But she had a facial deformity, and she had a big surgery right before her 16th birthday. And it made her appear that she had a very prominent chin because one side of her jaw was growing faster than the other. And then her top jaw was recessed back. It was deficient. So 3 days before her 16th birthday, she had this big surgery where they evened out her jaw and they brought this jaw forward, and she was wired shut for 8 weeks. And she just finally got her braces off. And just absolutely gorgeous. But she struggled with a lot of bullying and all that stuff too. And school just hasn't been easy for her. And I think when we started to look at alternative things, you know, then there's COVID that came in the mix, and she is not good at online school. It is not a good thing for her, but she's really good with one-on-one. So if she could just had a one-on-one teacher her whole education, she would have been fine. But that person was not me. So.
Well, I happen to know somebody that might be on this phone that does energy healing sessions.
Who had her jaw wired shut for 8 weeks when she was 16?
Oh, interesting.
Mhm.
Never know. Okay, what can I help you all with?
Well, I'm really interested to hear how Pam's call with the guy went about the mergers and acquisitions. That was supposed to be yesterday. Talked to Pam on Friday, so.
Yes, Carrie and I had a lovely chat on Friday where I told her all the things. And so
Was that
so
your
Debbie
get
just
together that you threw on WhatsApp that you were getting everybody together if they had time? Yeah.
Yep. So we had the conversation, and basically we both want to move forward, but we're not really sure like what that looks like. And so actually had a coaching call with Michelle just before this and got a little bit more clarity on that, which is really cool. He has engaged coaches that run the group that we're in together for 6 months, just once a month for 6 months. And so I'm going to attend the first session with them to kind of see what they have to say and kind of what their suggestions are on how we could structure it based on what we want ultimately to do together. So in the meantime, Dave and I are going to have some more conversations about, you know, making sure that our values align, making sure that our kind of bigger picture stuff aligns, and you know, just kind of air out some more stuff to make sure we're all thinking about all the things, right? Like up until this point, we've been pretty like, I don't want to say guarded, but like a little bit, right? Like we're just gonna have to throw it all out there instead of like asking the question about what, like he's asked me several times about how much time I could commit to it, instead of saying like, I'm really concerned that your business is going to take precedence and I'm going to take a backseat, right? Like we need to like say the hard things to make sure that we're getting there in the right direction.
And it might start too with a conversation about how do we want to communicate, right? Like how do we build trust with each other, and how do we communicate? And, you know, there might even be I forget what they call them. I don't know why my mind is so spaced today. Where when you're going into business with someone and you're sharing proprietary information, what is that? Where you sign a
Non-disclosure.
Like an NDA.
Yeah,
Thank you. I was going to call it a different acronym. And so, yes. And, you know, so then it would open up that conversation around, you know, because I always joke that when my friend says, oh, this is an easy black diamond, her definition of easy and my definition of easy are two different things, because I'm halfway down the mountain shitting my pants, right? Like that's not easy. So, yeah. So it might be like starting out with even, hey, as we step forward further into this, how do we want to communicate? And like, I prefer directness. Like, do we want to touch base once a week? You know, like talk through some of those logistical things.
Yeah. So that's That's the big thing. The coaches, we're not going to meet with them until like early December. So we've got basically like a month to kind of have this back and forth and just make sure we're still aligned. But I did get some clarity today, definitely talking with Lachelle, because my biggest concern was the upheaval with my current team. And so I've kind of decided that if I'm going to do this, I'm going to hire a new team to only deal with the stuff that I'm doing with Dave. Whether that's a separate entity and how all that works is, yet to be determined. But I think instead of like uprooting my current team and jacking everything up for them, I think we'll hire a new team. But because I don't want two completely separate teams. I want them to be part of our team, but kind of siloed a little bit so that they're not part of the growth trajectory that On the Books was already on. They'll be like a little bit different.
And just throwing this out there might be some people on your current team that have a desire to move into that other team. And then you have some people with some history, might be an option. And there's a really good change management book. It's an easy read because it's kind of like the Who Moved My Cheese kind of story, but it's by John Cotter, who's a change management specialist.
Okay.
It's been around for a little while, but it's called Our Iceberg is Melting. And it really, I just was talking to somebody in my mastermind last night who called me because she just hired a CEO and she's kind of nervous about her team and how does that all work? And so it takes you through kind of the change management cycle, and people immediately think about what they're going to lose, even though it's a gain for the company, it's a gain for them, it's a gain for everybody else. And it kind of walks you through things to think about as you're leading through change.
I'm going to add that book to my list.
Yeah. And I mean, you could listen to it probably, and take a couple notes here and there. And he's got a website too that he might share some of the graphs and stuff that are on the Kindle or hard copy version. Did you all get your Kindle versions too that I sent to you and audios? Okay. That was yeah, never mind. It's all good.
It's a win now.
That's right. It's a win now. What else can I do to help you? How's it going with your goals and your playbook? Because we're going to use that next Tuesday for our strategic planning. Like the Word document that I sent you with some of your goals, and then the Vivid Vision, doing that first worksheet piece of it.
Well, I will be completely honest that I've not probably given it. I mean, I did it, but I haven't really utilized it.
Yeah, that's okay. We can talk through that a little.
But I'm getting ready to go to New Hampshire for a funeral and then a conference in Vegas. So next Thursday I'll be flying. So probably won't be joining the call next Thursday, which makes me really sad.
I'll tape it so you can, or record it. I sound like I'm from the 80s. I'll tape it.
I'll take
Put our Walkmans on.
With a cassette.
Right.
Okay.
So I get on the plane at 4:15 Houston time, which is
Houston.
Yeah, I'm flying through Houston. So Vegas to Houston. So I'm in Houston
I'm
from
going to
2 to
Houston.
4:15.
I'll go to the airport and do the call with you.
Yeah, there you go.
Mhm.
So I might be able to time-wise because it starts at 4 Eastern time, which is 3 Houston time, right?
If you can make it, that'd be great.
And
And
1 hour back.
if
1 hour.
since 1 hour, yeah, it's mountain.
Wait,
So I might be able to make it
It's
from
2,
there.
it's central.
it's central. Yeah.
Okay, but Debbie, you're talking about Tuesday, right?
Yeah, she's just saying our next call on Thursday, she's not going to be on, but Tuesday the 14th,
Tuesday. I won't be
there's
here
a
either.
strategic planning call.
I have my executive meeting the last half of that call, so I'll have to figure that out a little bit.
Okay. What
Mhm.
else can I help you with? Michelle, what's going on for you?
Yeah. I'm honestly I'm good right now. Yeah.
Okay.
Mastermind next or tomorrow, and then I already planning for the online summit that I'm going to be hosting in December. And thank you for the Vivid Vision. I listened to it on the plane yesterday, so had a piece of paper and a pencil, and I jotted down some ideas. So yeah.
What is your online summit going to be about?
Yeah, so it's a Spiral Up Business Summit, and I have it written down. I just wanted to make sure that I'm giving this justice. So it is setting up your 2024 vision with the experts who can make it happen. So it's going to be 7 days, 3 experts per day, talking about all the different things. Yep, all the different things that could essentially support somebody on executing all of the amazingness that they want to do for next year. So yeah, so I'm going to be busy over the next 2 weeks interviewing 20 people for the summit. But yeah, so when Debbie was talking about the millionaire coach thing, like that's basically, it's going to be a twofold goal with that. It's going to be an email acquisition project, because I have some of the people that I'm inviting to be experts have really big lists, like 50,000 on their email lists. And also going to be promoting my program, my signature program. So yeah, it'll be my first summit, but it'll be good. I've been part of them before, but I haven't run my own. So
I
Yeah.
can't wait.
Awesome.
Yeah.
yeah, it'll be good. So
Screen just went blank. It's back.
That's so exciting.
yeah.
So nobody has anything, like, I love chatting with you all, but I also like want to provide value, and if you have something, bring it forward. And if not, we can either
Um,
continue to chat for another 20 minutes, or we can go do work.
well, um, I feel like I feel like I've I've got a blank slate. I feel like I'm cleaning up old habits and old behavior, and I think that's why I haven't really done the work, because I think my answers would have been different.
Yeah.
And you know, because I feel like I've been forcing myself on people, friends or clients. You know, I've been you know, started with a nonprofit where I kind of had to convince these girls to believe me and trust me. And I've just kind of, not really on purpose, but just kind of kept that energy looping, that that they're not wanted. I need to force myself on them. And I have kind of been you know, facing my worst fears of being alone and nobody wanting me. And I'm like ready to uh, open the door and see what happens. So I guess what I would want help with is taking these first new shaky baby steps.
So I will say your energy is completely different today than I've seen it in the past. Like
Exactly
Yeah.
what I was thinking. She feels so much lighter today.
I have been working on it.
yeah, well, it
And I
shows.
could see myself in like in these calls. I'm like, I don't like me. And this isn't me. Like, why are you doing this, Kathy? And so I'm like, you know, face the worst fears and
Lean in.
you know, it was good. I saw my sister 4 times in October, and we hadn't seen each other in over a year. Um, and you know, she you know, wanted me and kind of like initiated all of them, you know. So it was like a safe way to crack the door open, because
Yeah, that's fantastic. And I
yeah.
feel like the universe provides us what we need when we need it, right? We just have to be able to see it and receive it. And so when you talk about those shaky first steps, usually we have a deep knowing of what that next step is. Sometimes we don't allow it to bubble up because of fear, but do you have an indication of what that next step might be?
No, I mean, I'm going to Vegas for fun this weekend. Um,
When
You
do
and
you
Pam are gonna be
when do you
passing the
leave?
baton.
I get there on
Friday.
Sunday. When do you leave?
Friday till Monday.
To Monday. Oh, we overlap.
Oh my
I get there
God.
on Sunday. Where are you
I
staying?
will- Mirage.
Okay, I'm staying at Aria because that's where our conference is. But let's do breakfast on Monday. Or how
Yeah.
early do you have to leave Monday?
Oh, not till I think 3.
Oh, perfect.
Perfect. Okay, we want photos.
All right,
Okay.
I'll message you. We can. My
Um,
favorite place to have breakfast is Paris because they have these
Okay.
amazing bacon, egg, and cheese croissant sandwiches that
I
are
mean,
like.
it has to be croissants if it's in Paris.
croissant.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, croissant, s'il vous plaît. Okay, so that's a first step, right? Like you're meeting with Pam on Monday. So what's like the next, like, what if you did know what the next step would be?
Um, I don't know, because my mind instantly ran to what I'd been working on, and I don't know if that's what I want. So because I was like, okay, if I did know, I would start making calls and reaching out to people. But I'm like, I I want to know where to send them and what I'd, want to offer and what I'd want to do, and I don't have that.
Yeah. So the first step might be getting out of your environment, going somewhere where your environment is different, because when we
And
think,
rolling the dice. Sorry.
well, no, that might be part of it too when you leave on Friday, right? But like starting to put some meat around that, right? And what
Meaning,
that might look like. And then let me know, because typically, like I just had the gal that's starting the 2024, she's looking at some coaching packages and put them together and texted them to me. And I'm like, okay, that's a lot of hours for this. And you're a psychologist, but like you're going into this teen girl coaching stuff, but you got to spend 10 hours a week networking, right? Like you got to build your pond. That's different than when you're on a list and people are referring you as a psychologist, right? Like, so you've got to think about those things. And typically we never charge enough, but like, as you start to do that, Kathy, reach out to me. But I think that's a solid first step, is saying to yourself, well, I need to understand what I'm offering. So what are the pain points that people have that you've been helping with, and how does that help them?
I mean, what do you mean when you say pain point?
Well, when you think about, you said, I'm not sure what I would offer, but like when people come talk to you, like, is it that you provide them, like people buy time, control, or money, right? At the bottom baseline. So like when you think about the service that you're offering in coaching, what are you wanting to try to help them do or be or become? Is it to let go of like past history that they're hanging on to? Is it to shed emotions that are holding them back? Is it to help them with a relationship? Do you see where I'm going? Like the people that you've been attracting in the past that you've coached just without getting paid for it, like, in the last couple of years, like what is it that they're attracted to you for?
I hear from them that I'm like really safe, and that they, face their worst fear.
Yeah.
Yeah, that they're able to um go there.
Yeah. So in a way, the person that you're working with, it's the question of, are you, do you have some fear that is holding you back? And you need a safe place to be able to come work through some of that, right? And did you and I ever set up our November one-on-one yet?
No, I'd sent you
Okay.
an email. Maybe you didn't get it.
No, so right after this is over, stay on for 2 minutes and let's
Okay.
get that scheduled, because we can talk more and dig into this more.
Okay.
And so if part of that's coming up with like, because you really have to understand how you're going to serve people. what are you going to help them do or be or become? Like, what would be the outcome of working with you?
Mhm.
It could be multiple things.
You know, like people that have worked with before, they're coming from pretty low place. One guy would drink 36 beers a day and now he doesn't drink.
Yeah.
One woman, son committed suicide and then now she said, I'm happy,
Yeah.
like from depths. Um, you know,
It's like
so
you're a guide. You're guiding them through that
yeah.
process. Yeah. Yeah. Anybody else have thoughts? And Kathy, we'll go deeper when you and I meet.
Okay.
And so now, like, as you look at, okay, I need to think about what am I going to provide for people? Then the thought is, okay, what's the next step? Right. And it drops in, and sometimes it's really quiet, like, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes it's just like a fleeting thought, like this morning in the shower, I'm like, oh, I haven't done a vision board night in a long time. And then here comes Pamela. Hey, I'd love to do a vision board, right? Like sometimes it's an obvious thing and other times and I know in my past, there's been times that I've poo-pooed it or taken the thought and gone, oh, that must just be my thought versus, oh, okay, I'm going to accept that. There's a prayer that and it's not like a religious prayer. It's whatever you all want it to be. But I want to share this with you because it's really, I got this out of the book. It's not your money, by Tasha Silver. And so I threw it on a PowerPoint slide and I have it in my bathroom. I have it in my office on my computer where it just says, change me, open me, make me receptive to the unexpected. May I receive all that's meant for me over these next weeks and beyond. Let me know my own worthiness to receive. Let me play with these new ideas as an adventure. That's kind of what prompted me to share this, Kathy, because it feels like you're on this adventure of like, how do I look at these new ideas and create these next steps? And then let me embrace what happens according to your will. That can be universe, whatever. I am yours, you are mine, we are one, all is well. And if you'd like a copy of that, I'm happy to send you a copy. Oh, I'm still sharing. I'm like, wait. Okay, and how cute.
We don't mind seeing your adorable grandson.
I know I was going to say, I haven't shared that with you all. How cute is that kid?
So cute.
He's like the honoriest angel ever. That's his school picture. The preschool does school pictures every year.
That's awesome.
So Kathy, I think you're on the right start. Just listen, just keep listening to the thoughts that you have, and then we can organize them in our call.
Uh,
I'm curious, Kathy, are you invigorated by the blank slate?
no, there's still some emotion I'm clearing, there's still some sadness and loss.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, I don't remember whose quote it is, but the hardest thing to grieve is the future you thought you'd have.
Mm.
That I'm still kind of letting it bubble up and releasing it as it comes.
I totally understand that. I mean, I never thought I would get divorced, right? Ever.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, divorced. And then you're at
Yeah.
like, even though I'm super happy now, I'd be at like a kid's sporting event and you're like parents over here and parents over here and you're mad at that one or, you're like, oh, you grieve your perfect family or the life that you thought. And I think sometimes like just in general, we don't talk about like dealing with grief about things not related to death. Like there's things like I've grieved that I don't think my mom is who I wanted her to be, like there's other things that just walking through grief is important to acknowledge that. So
Totally. And I find it comes in waves, like
Yeah.
kind of the same thing with the divorce and then the grief of losing my mom and like even the grief of realizing I wasn't going to be the grandmother like my mom was, right? Because it's just not in the cards. And it is hard. And for me, I found that like feeling the feels, and hence why I throw a lot of rocks and scream the F word, but to get it out of my body. But it's like, it still comes up, you know, like there's still waves of things that I don't really even want to call it a trigger, because it's not like, when I say that big, like for me, a trigger is when it's like everything for me shuts down, right? But there will be these waves of emotion that kind of come forward. You know, my mom's favorite song was the Star Spangled Banner. And then I don't know why we thought it was the smartest thing in the world to have the Star Spangled Banner played at her funeral. But so like there's times when that song is played that my, like, and even talking about it right now, like just the emotion kind of overwhelms, and not even overwhelms, but just comes up, right? Like you said, kind of bubbles up. So it sounds like you're processing through that. And now it's about, how do we also look at taking those first steps, and then as those things bubble up, being able to do both simultaneously. Yeah, thank you for sharing that.
Just trying to see. I have a friend who wrote a book. It's called Soul Broken, a guide for your journey through ambiguous grief. And so ambiguous grief is grief when you didn't actually lose a person, like they didn't die, but you're grieving the loss of what you had with that person. I don't know if it would apply necessarily. I think it's probably written more from what she found, that her husband was leading a completely separate life, and the family that they had with the 3 kids and the dog and the cat and whatever just kind of went poof in an instant. So anyway, she's local to me, and her son played soccer with my son, and I'll look into it a little bit more, and if I feel like it could be good, I'll send you the link. But it definitely grieving a loss that of, like you said, the future that you thought you were going to have. So I feel like there's a lot of emotions with that.
Yeah, and then it's almost too, Kathy, like when you look at that blank slate, what feelings come up for you, not only about like still grieving and the loss, but what feelings do you have when you see the blank slate?
Anger.
Yeah. Can you tell me a little more about that?
Some sadness is coming with it, but it's you know, I feel like I had a hard life and worked really hard. You know, the first thing I grieved was a stillborn, you know, that it's like there's a lot of unfairness in my eyes, and I know anger is a response to unfairness. So it's like, why do I have to start over?
Yeah.
You know?
Is there a shift for you at all? Because I hear your heart and I understand that very much so. And is there a shift for you if you look at that you get to recreate?
No, because I feel like I've gotten to recreate enough.
When
That's
do
why
you
I'm
come to
like,
Sandpoint next?
I come December 6th
Okay, because I would love to
for a
do,
week.
if you're open to it, let's get together and do an anger project.
Okay.
Like process through some of that so you can let it go.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you all. And thank you, Lachelle, for the invite. And hopefully everybody got the link. If you are interested, please go do that. And stay on, Kathy and Carrie and Lachelle. Thank you so much. And we will see you Thursday.
Yes. All right. Take care, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye.
Okay, Miss Kathy, let's do this thing. What do you have available next week? Are you pretty open? It's something on Thursday the 16th?
Let me see.
Maybe like right after our call at 1?
Yeah. The one
Okay.
that's called Inner Game.
Yep. I am going to send you, we're still working on the migration of the calendars. So I'm just going to send you a direct Google invite.
Okay. Okay.
That way you have it. Kathy Colburn. Okay, make it a Zoom meeting, get rid of the Google Meets thing. Okay, there you go, my dear. And then we'll take a look at the rest of the year and maybe try to map out what months we'll do those extra couple.
Okay.